Hi, Roger Wilson here. Back during the years of 1986 to 1996, I worked at CNN, worked in the newsroom and on the radio network. And during that time, back in 1994, 20 years ago, I had the privilege of doing a piece on the Allman Brothers Band's Big House in Macon, Georgia. This was the home of the band back in the early 70s. And so anyway, I had the opportunity to go down there and film it and talk to Kirk West at the time, who had put together a museum. He was the Allman Brothers road manager back in those days. And also, there's a soundbite on there by Joseph Campbell, alias Red Dog, and he was the main roadie for the Allman Brothers Band, a road crew member for a long time. He's since passed on. Mama Louise, who runs the H&H restaurant in Macon, Georgia, who fed the band for many years, is featured in a soundbite. So there's a lot of great old footage, but the piece is 20 years old. And I do one stand up at one of the locations where the Allman Brothers had their picture taken during this piece. And so there's a lot of water under the bridge since then, but I hope you do enjoy the piece. It aired back in 1994, and this being 2014, 20 years later, I thought it'd be suitable to put the piece out and let folks see it. Although, once again, a lot of things have changed, but the music is still alive, and the band is still functioning after 45 years. So the music held on, and I hope you enjoy the piece. This is one that aired on CNN back in 1994.
This is CNN.
Come along with us as we go door to door on a tour of homes. In Mexico, we'll see where a Russian revolutionary spent his last years. And in the southern United States, where the Allman Brothers Band made musical history. Now, if you happen to have been born a ramblin' man or woman, this next house will be of special interest to you. A band that might be considered the founders of Southern rock and roll once lived there. And as our cover story shows, travelers may get a chance to stay there as well. CNN's Roger Wilson, a musician himself, filed our next report.
In the late 60s and early 70s, Macon was the home of Capricorn Records and the Allman Brothers Band. They've been called the South's premier rock band and the world's greatest live band. 25 years after they hit the scene, fans are getting a chance to see where and how they got their start.
We came to Macon, and there was nobody with long hair in Macon, Georgia when we first came here. So, there were like 10 of us in a one-bedroom apartment up on College Street.
In 1970, bassist Barry Oakley's wife, Linda, rented this house on Vineville Avenue. Band leader and guitarist Duane Allman, his brother, keyboardist and vocalist Greg Allman, and their families also made their home in what later became known as the Big House.
She said, we felt like we were the fairy princesses and this was the castle.
Kirk West is the Allman Brothers road manager. He and his wife Kirsten have bought, renovated, and are living in the Big House.
So there's a lot of people who think of the Big House as the Allman Brothers' Graceland.
When the Allman Brothers Band lived in the Big House, they went from playing high school proms to filling huge outdoor stadiums.
There are people who make pilgrimages to Macon all the time, and naturally, these fans would be thrilled if they could spend a night in Duane's room. And that's what we'd like to do, is have 3 of the rooms open for guests. Have it be a little bed and breakfast, rock and roll bed and breakfast, which I think would be great.
Kirk West is also considered the band's official historian. He's fashioned a museum of Allman Brothers memorabilia dedicated to preserving the band's legacy.
3 Allman Brothers days are here, and then you hit the ground running with the Allman Brothers. The heavy Fillmore days, the closing of the Fillmore East. The Allman Brothers were the last band to play at Fillmore East.
Guitarist Duane Allman has been credited with perfecting the technique of bottleneck slide guitar and adapting it to rock music.
This was a store-bought Corsican bottle.
When the crew told the medicine company about the bottle's dual role, they sent Duane an entire case.
This is a photograph over here that was taken at the original H&H.
H&H owner Mama Louise received a mention on an album cover for taking them under her wing and feeding them on credit so they wouldn't go hungry.
Dickie and then Duane, Barry, and I think that's Butch, Greg, and then J-Mo at the end. That's back when she started feeding us for a year. And then she moved over here, and she was still feeding us for nothing.
I just love them. So I call them my babies. I miss all of that.
In those days, there was never a dull moment. I think a lot of people are still proud to say they're from Macon because the Allman Brothers are from here.
True Allman Brother fans might remember this location with its tall, stately columns. What's now a restaurant was once the backdrop for the band's first album cover.
Good old Sunday morning, bells are ringing everywhere.
Dickie wrote Ramblin' Man and Blue Sky in this house. Some of the lyrics from that song, Hello Sunday Morning, bells are ringing everywhere. Well, they do, sometimes to our distraction.
The band's career was just beginning to blossom in the early 70s when tragedy struck. Dwayne Allman and bassist Barry Oakley were killed in separate motorcycle accidents a year apart.
It's a celebration. It's not a memorial. There is so much joy. There's so much karmic back, you know, to watch people walk in the door and go, oh my God, look at this. You know, it's a sharing thing. It's what you put out. You put it out good, it comes back to good. That's what the band has always done. Music can make you grow. And music can bring people together. And this is like my little way of trying to give it back, you know, share it with people.
Roger Wilson, CNN, Macon, Georgia.
Thank you.